where we're having an absolutely fantastic Friday. An absolutely fantastic one. But it's also a sad one. And why is it sad, Mo? Because we have a famous actor, Oscar winning black actor, who died today by the name of Louis Gossett Jr. Now, for those of you who don't know who Louis Gossett Jr. is, that means that you're just not my age, okay? For one. And number two, that tells me that you've never watched the mini TV series entitled Roots. That's exactly what that tells me. That tells me that you haven't watched Iron Eagle 1, Iron Eagle 2, Iron Eagle 3, and the attack on Iron Eagle, which I call Iron Eagle 4. Okay, if you haven't seen that, you haven't seen The Color Purple. Yes, the one that was recently released. He was in that with Taraji Henson and all the rest of those great actors and actresses. He was also in Jaws 3D. Now, you have had to see this black man in some of these movies, okay? Now, if you haven't caught up to speed yet with any of those movies, maybe you will be familiar with Diggstown. Just do your research in regards to the great character and what would I want to call it? He's a great role model as an actor for black men. How about that? He was really one of those role models. Never played a very shisty, murderous type of actor. Always gave you hope in every movie that he was in. Have you seen Raising of the Sun? It's in black and white now. If you haven't seen that movie, which many of us had to watch at some time and point in high school, yeah, A Raisin in the Sun. And if you don't know about that, go research it. Any of these movies that I tell you about, The Powers of Matthew, Firewalker. Come on now. Hey, but I'm going to tell you the role that gave him, or how he earned an Oscar award for Best Supporting Actor. And that was in the movie entitled Officer and a Gentleman with Richard Gere. He was the Marine drill sergeant. Yeah. And they didn't get along, but they respected each other. And after they had that fight, you know, going towards the end of the movie when they like, just let's get it on, you know. I know you want to get it off the chest. You know, and Louis Gossett Jr. gave him some work, you know. I'm just saying. So, yeah, we're going to give a moment of silence for Louis Gossett Jr. Thank you all. But I want to say this in conjunction with that, and that is Roots. You see, in Roots, he played the actor as Fiddler. Now, in Roots, to me, he was considered an Uncle Tom. Not the Uncle Tom that they've made you to believe who's an Uncle Tom. And if you don't know what a real Uncle Tom is, an Uncle Tom is a slave who has mastered the art of living under slavery and lived to be an old man. The Uncle Tom was one who mastered how to live under slavery, yet helped the other slaves save their lives. That is a true Uncle Tom. Now, Sambo, on the other hand, is one who will sell you out. One who will snitch on you right away if you stole something from the master. If you're trying to run away from the master. That's the Sambo, not the Uncle Tom. And speaking of Uncle Toms, if you have not read the book entitled Uncle Tom's Cabin, that is a good book for you to read, and then you have a great idea who or what an Uncle Tom really is. Okay? Louis Gossett Jr. You're going to be missed. And he started Broadway at the age of 16. How many young people start Broadway at the age of 16? I know I granted a moment of silence for him already, but I had to keep going because there were some things I left out. But anyways, I think I don't know, I've counted like over 50 movies, okay? So you go and tell me how many movies did you count? I've counted over 50. I can't name all of them, but I gave you, an idea of who he is if you didn't know. And there's a lot of things that people don't know, because here in Chicago, you have residents that live here regardless of immigrant status could be receiving $1,000 checks. And that takes place, according to the reports, around 2027. Now, you have to qualify for some things in order to get this $1,000 check a month. Like, you have to be enrolled in a vocational or educational institution. Okay? 2, you have to be taking care of someone elderly. And 3, you have to be busy making less type of money, like little itty bitty money. Yeah. But immigrants can get this. Is that making any sense to you? How are you going to give immigrants $1,000 check, even if it's 3 years later? Haven't you gave them enough money already, Brandon Johnson? And the citizens here in Chicago are really mad. You have citizens here who are no longer working but have paid into the tax system, into the American working dream, and yet you are going to authorize $1,000 for someone who've never worked a day in their life in America. Now, it hasn't been completely, ironed out yet, but those are the requirements. You have to be taking care of someone. You have to be, have kids, be on public housing, or you have to be enrolled in a vocational or educational institution. And just from my standpoint, many of us should have already been enrolled. Maybe we wouldn't be out here killing ourselves the way that we are. Because if you go to one of these institutions of learning and you're serious about learning, you can actually get somewhere. Not to say that they make all sense in the schools. They don't. A lot of that stuff that you learn in school, you don't even use in everyday life that you're going to live for, or do, that's going to make you rich or, No, most millionaires never been to college, okay? Never been to college. Never had debt after high school. Some of them never even went to high school. Some of them inherited, especially those who are Caucasians here in America. They inherited things from their ancestors who enslaved us and made us work for nothing from sun up to sundown. And we still couldn't get a check. But now they're giving all of the money once again to the immigrants. And they qualify for everything that you don't qualify for, including carrying a gun without a FOID card or without a perk card. I'm just saying. So for all of you felonies, people out there who have felonies, that's a slap in the face, and you all should be fighting that. But you can't, because the federal judge have already ruled that they have a right to protect themselves too, even though they don't have a perk card. Is that making any sense to you? So why should anyone else be required to have a perk card or FOID card to purchase a firearm when, according to the Second Amendment, they can go get it right now without anything, and it's legal? So what's with all the background checks then? You can't do a background check on an immigrant that never came from this country, right? You can't do that. You don't even know who he is. Don't even have an ID. Maybe even gave you a fake name. You don't know. But he is eligible, or she is eligible, to have a firearm in this country. And you got to have a perk card. Is that a slap in the face for the American citizen? Anybody who's paid taxes in this country? Anybody who has obeyed the laws in this country? Even for those who have disobeyed and went to prison and got out, and they still can't legally own a firearm, but you're going to give it to an immigrant who don't even need a permit to get it. I'm just saying. I remember when I was younger, you had all of these older men saying that the country is going to hell. Well, I tell you, it is exactly doing just that today. Those migrant people that's in the shelters, according to Brandon Johnson, it is not a long-term situation here. The weather has broken, so I don't even see why they still in there anyway. Who wants to be in a shelter when it's warm outside? Who wants to do that? No one. And then they're trying to make it whereas they can get work permits. People in Illinois can't even find a job. Well, many people in Chicago can't find a job. Just as I said, and many people in the state of Illinois can't find a job, but you want to give these people work permits. Whew. The country is going to hell. Hey, it's just a sad day, but it's a fantastic Friday. And if you haven't went outside and got some SUN on your FACE, I highly recommend that you do SO, okay? It's beautiful. Sun changes your attitude, gives you vitamins and minerals directly, naturally, from the sun that you can't get from a pill. Because every time something's wrong or they want to kill you, they want to give you a pill. They even want to give you a pill for melatonin. I mean, a pill for everything. Just go in the sun, and if you can't stand the sun long, I guess it wasn't meant for you to be out there long, okay? Don't blame yourself. Leave your comments in the comment section. It's your host with the most, Mo Powers on THEMOSHOW Chicago, where the execution of knowledge is power. And if this is your first time watching the show, I ask that you press that subscribe button below. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your co-workers. Have all of you to hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so that you can get all the videos when I upload them on YOUTUBE. Also press those condiments to like and to share. Share the information once again with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It's a magnificent way to jumpstart your CONVERSATION on this FRIDAY. Peace out. Thanks for viewing, and never give up on your DREAMS.